All right, so we have to come back to the Usain Bolt case with everything that's been going on. So Bolt finally spoke out on the SSL issue. He got attacked on social media. He pushed back. And in the meantime, the prosecution says it is ready to proceed with the matter. So a whole heap to talk about here. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Time for tea. So first and foremost, big up to the team at The Fix who scored a big interview with Bolt. He talked for the first time in detail about how he feels about the facts of them thieving money over at SSL. Big scoop. So again, big up on yourself. So it was kind of rough to listen to Bolt talk about this, nah lie. I mean, the man is obviously frustrated. Millions of US dollars are money gone and he doesn't know what is going on with it. And he said he has not got back his money, contrary to the rumors on social media. Let me start though with the news reported by the Gleaner that Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn says they are ready to try the case against SSL investment advisor Jean-Ann Panton, and she said the case is at criminal case management, but Panton has changed lawyers. So she says this case against Panton involving Bolt's money is ready to go ahead, but that doesn't have anything to do with whether her office gets the additional documents and material they said they need from the investigators to make a decision whether anyone else will be charged. And I spoke about this and what she said about the pace of the investigation in my video asking where is Bolt's money, so you can check that out. I admit to being a little bit confused at this point, right? This kind of case, complex fraud case, we keep hearing how complex it is, can take years to investigate and months if and when it goes to trial. You're going to need expert witnesses who have gone through the documents and come to whatever conclusions they can come to, and who would spend days in the witness box, being questioned, being examined, and especially being cross-examined. So I'm just surprised at what sounds like a suggestion like this one case involving Jean-Ann Panton could go ahead before we know if anybody else is going to be charged. Because I just don't see any way in which you would want to go through all of this twice, plus not to mention the logistics of getting the various witnesses and so on together again to testify about the same fraud more than once. So what I would expect is that everybody in the fraud case is going to go to trial at the same time, assuming there are going to be other people charged. I know that's a big assumption. Now, the DPP did say she expects to get the additional documentation from the investigators by the end of February. So if anyone else is going to be charged, it's obviously not going to be too late to have the trials go on together, to have everybody tried at the same time. I'm just surprised though at the suggestion that the one case involving Panton is going ahead, and if it's in criminal case management, that means it is going ahead. So I'll wait to see what's going to happen, but as I said, not quite understanding what I'm hearing here. By the way, both Bolt and his lawyer Linton Gordon have said they're not happy with the pace of the investigation. Bolt said on The Fix, all this money missing and one person know about it. One person can't move around and nobody else know about it in a big institution where it's supposed to be regulated. He said, yeah, tell me, say you run an institution and you don't notice nothing go on, you don't get audit, nothing happen, because clearly this has gone for years. Then his lawyer, Mr. Gordon, right, did an interview with me, and Mr. Gordon said this. He said the only person charged so far is that low-level employee. We have not heard that anyone else has been charged. We find it difficult to believe that she alone can be held responsible for removal of the funds. And I think a lot of people agree with them, by the way, including me. How could one person, one dege person, according to the allegations, go rogue for over a decade, thief so much money from so much people, and nobody else knows anything about it? And it's not a Ponzi scheme in a regulated entity where you're supposed to be having regular audits. Anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still haven't heard the ruling from the DPP. She said she's expecting to get the additional information she needs from the investigators by the end of February. So we'll see what happens after that. So, the social media attacks now. So, Bolt said it made him think about his importance in Jamaica's food chain, because he said it's been 2 years, him saying, can't see back a dime. He said it licked me for 6. What me I expect, me not get. What me think more that say, me not get from certain people. And the government alone really can't do nothing. And he hinted at high-level assurances made by people in government, because he said there's been conversations, but nothing has materialized out of the conversations. So then then people started coming after him on social media. So one of the lines of attack was that he was a private investigator. He can't expect government to pay him back, and he was asking government to pay him back. So I like to look very carefully at what people say, and this is what Bolt said. What me I expect, me not get. What me think more that say, me not get from certain people. There's been conversations, but nothing has materialized out of the conversations. So it sounds like certain assurances were made to Bolt, right? What was said to him, we don't know. A speedy investigation, compensation, from who, when, after the legal proceedings have been completed, when, remember, the state agency does go after recovery of assets at that point. So we don't know exactly what was said to him. I don't know exactly what he's expecting, except I might expect that somebody must do something and he must get back his money. As I said, there were a lot of social media responses to him. One of the ones that got the most attention was from former counsel Venetia Phillips, formerly of the PNP, now with the JLP. And her post said, did you get advice or directive from government directly or indirectly regarding making the investment you made and then lost? Was it all privately done? Have you sued the person who managed your affairs? The only reason I'm highlighting that is because she is a supporter of the JLP. She ran in the last local government elections on the JLP ticket, but more importantly, Bolt actually answered her. It's the one post I think I've actually seen him respond to. And he said she was victim blaming and told her not to be a syndicate. She went on to say she wasn't victim blaming. She said her questions were legitimate. So all I'm going to say about that is that, in a context in which after 2 years, Bolt finally speaks out saying the government isn't doing enough, and then comes this question asking whether he took advice from government in making the investment. It sounds like he's been asked if a government did tell him to put him money there. So. And I think that is what he's probably responding to, and why other people have responded in that way as well. His lawyer, Linton Gordon, also spoke out, and he put out a statement, and he said, there now appears to be an organized effort to shift blame onto Bolt for his loss when he's guilty of nothing more than investing in the country he loves. This is a textbook case of victim blaming. It appears to be an attempt to absolve the government of its failure to protect the public and those defrauded by SSL. He said even more concerning is the apparent attempt to silence victims and manipulate the narrative about who is truly responsible for this large-scale fraud, which has left hundreds of Jamaicans without their hard-earned money and no clear path to recovery. And I interviewed him after that statement came out, and he said he called it a nasty and unfortunate approach being taken. He said, I think they have a motive. It will come out in due course. Now, his lawyers also responded to a story that had been carried saying a substantial amount of Bolt's money was stolen before reaching an account at SSL. And in the statement, they said all funds lodged at SSL by Mr. Bolt's company were transferred via bank transactions, and each and every payment was acknowledged by the institution in writing. And Mr. Gordon, the lawyer, said the lodgements were confirmed in court. The media house is saying they stand by the story. So, look, let's put what's happening in some kind of context and perspective, all right? So, yes, we all know Bolt is a track legend. But for us, he's way more than that, He's inspiration, he's motivation, he's hope, and he's confirmation that poor people with talent can reach somewhere, even the top of the world. So when the man, after staying more or less quiet for 2 years, just some occasional cryptic little social media posts, in Mecca, say matter about the SSL thing, hasn't given any interviews, any long interviews on this matter to international media, he finally comes out frustrated because he wants money and criticizes the government saying they're not doing enough. The tribalists decide to come after him, come after Bolt. And I couldn't pass on the one here, even out of respect. Yeah, and I'm not saying don't talk about the issue, don't talk about what Bolt has said, don't respond. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying the tone and the framing of some of the comments is more than unfortunate. I mean, I think in some level it rises to a level of disgraceful, honestly. So one thing is for sure, Bolt does not feel that enough is being done. He said if they were doing enough, it would have reached a certain level already. He said it's been 2 years, it's not done away, it's almost at a stalemate. And he also suggested that at one point he probably have to go talk to international media to try to put some more pressure on the situation. So his lawyer, Mr. Gordon, also said they were concerned about the pace of the investigation, right? And just to say that I did explain what the Director of Public Prosecutions has said on this matter in my video called Where is Bolt's Money? Again, you can go and check that out. When I interviewed Mr. Gordon, though, he said they were excited and happy when they were told that to support local investigators were being brought in from the United States and from Europe. But he said those have come and gone, and we don't know what has happened or what they achieved or what they found. So when I interviewed Mr. Gordon, though, he said one of the things they're very worried about is if Bolt going to be able to get back his money at all. And that is because he said there haven't been any applications to freeze anybody's accounts with a court order, meaning get a court order to say that, you know, when you think of freezing an account, it means nothing can go in, nothing can go out. And he said that would be important at the end of the day to make sure that there is money for payback victims. So he said our concern is heightened by the fact that no effort came from the investigations whereby an application was made to freeze anybody's assets, nothing like that. So both Bolt and his lawyer have said, yes, they are going to take legal action. They have been doing some stuff, but as I said in my previous video, more than likely that kind of thing is going to have to wait until the criminal case is concluded and we really know what is what. Gonna have to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. I'm keeping up on this one. I'll keep doing videos as we get more information. All right. Remember to like the video, share it with somebody who may be interested. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and click that notification bell so you know anytime a new video drops. I am Dion. I'll see you next time. Go and drink my tea.